Hey kids, it's me, your favorite and totally biological demon mom. If you're a returning viewer, then welcome back, my fellow demon friend. And if you're new here, well,
welcome to
I make videos with no schedule, I stream sometimes, and once in a blue moon, I've been known to create art. If you like what you see, feel free to join our demon army. If you don't, well, no harm done. We can't all have healthy relationships with our mothers. You can find my social media and links to what I do here, and here. Thanks for spending time with me today, and let's start the video. Hi everyone, it's been a while since I posted a full-length art/gaming community video and talked directly with everyone. It's nice to record again. I missed you guys. I hope you're well. I want to get directly into today's topic, Dislyte. Now, if you don't know what Dislyte is, there is a very long description on Google Play that describes it as fighting alongside heroes with godlike powers in this stylish urban mythological RPG. Feel the beat and experience this visually stunning world. No one knows where these portal-like sites called miracles come from. They appeared out of nowhere and turned the world upside down. When Pandora's box opened, hope turned into desolation. To fight the monsters that are hell-bent on causing destruction, ordinary people become awakened godlike beings, gaining divine powers through divine sound waves. In these dark times, will you stand up, gather these heroes, and save the world? And then right under that line it says most badass gods ever. There's more descriptions underneath with headlines such as embark on an urban adventure, superheroic characters, feel the beat, and they use a lot of words like thrilling, mythological, Chinese, Egyptian, Greek, and Northern European mythology, urban mythological theme, build your own squad, take the fight to the enemy, experience the neon light gameplay. It's a unique gacha system, as they claim. And they leave you with the tagline, assemble the ultimate lineup of battle-ready heroes. Feel the thrill of combat pump through you as you protect the city from the next attack. Adapt and perfect your strategy with each turn, using your skills and wisdom to reverse a bad situation to your advantage. So it's a gacha game. It's a collect your character, pay money gacha game. The developer of this game is Farlight Games, who just recently, April 25th of this year to be exact, announced their new global publishing brand, and they have claimed to have launched other titles such as Soul Hunters, Art of Conquest, AFK Arena, Rise of Kingdoms, and Warpath. Some of the upcoming projects that they've been talking about, which is of course Dislyte, Farlight 84, Boom Party, and an unannounced game that is codenamed Samo or Samo. And of course, Farlight Games is heralded under the CEO and founder, Kenny Wang, where he's quoted to say the launch of Farlight Games represents a significant upgrade to our strategy of global localization. We want to recruit top talent from around the world to provide a more localized service to players around the world. And for what it's worth, the company is also headquartered in Singapore. I was actually surprised at how little information you find on their professional website. You can check out their private policy and their terms of service, and then that's it. And then this short intro about Farlight Games. There's not really much in terms of Googling of like a based website where they have everything. It is mostly social media. Now, it is important to note that the publishing brand is Farlight Games. So Farlight Games is noted as the publisher, but the developer is Lilith Games. Now, if you Google Lilith Games has a more detailed website where they talk about their games. They talk about news within the business. They have their job opening section. They have a lot more information on their website. It seems like Lilith Games is the spearhead of the creation of Farlight Games, but Farlight Games is more of a title to absorb a bunch of hubs of different games, which so far it seems like it's mainly aimed towards mobile games. Other than the more technical details about Dislyte, it's been praised for its variation in character design with body types, race, the overall uniqueness of the character's clothing, and the overall aesthetic of the game. Dislyte was really pushing TikTok ads for a little bit. Editing mom here. I'm putting in 2 TikToks I thought of specifically that cracked my shit up because people just don't like these ads, and the ads are so goofy. But here are 2 TikToks that specifically are dissing some of the ads that I remember the most clear that I also thought were weird.
Goodness,
Look at these sensitive ears, the fluffy tail. Is this what furry heaven looks like? Wait, what? Anubis and Fenrir are only 3 stars?
Okay, no, look.
Master?
Okay, look at the.
No,
Just the one with the screen.
It's no use crying over the past. Some burdens must be carried alone. This is what rage can do!
His talk isn't even.
Dislyte. Download now.
Of their game, and it didn't really allude to any gameplay style or what type of game it was going to be. It didn't really even mention that it was a gacha game. It kind of just really pushed the focus on the narrative of the game, focusing on the characters and focusing on like the bright, vibrant colors and like the cyberpunk mixed with mythology theme. Before all these quote-unquote controversies popped up with the Dislyte community, the main genuine complaints from players seemed to be the lack of good pulls. It seemed really hard to get higher level characters, the gameplay being overall boring or just buggy. So basic criticisms that come along with a newly launched game, nothing crazy, especially a newly launched gacha game, that could eventually be improved with updates and changes to the game over time. So there was nothing crazy and no initial complaints of something that would divide the fan base completely. Until... Now, the first thing that I personally want to talk about is the tracing. I would normally call these allegations. I would say, hey, these are tracing allegations because nothing's been proven, nothing's been claimed, da da da. But the Dislyte team put out this response. Where they more or less confirmed there was tracing in their art department. They put out this little response thing on May 19th. You can pause to read if you'd like to, but basically they more or less confirmed there was tracing in the art department. They confirm that one of their characters, Neza, the facial expressions and the gestures highly resemble a character from an indie artist, and then they credit the indie artist. They said that as soon as they received the alert that they removed the material from their socials, and they audited, they initiated an internal audit, which just means they're going to investigate within the department who did this, who was responsible for the tracing, what they're going to do with that person once they find out who it was. And then, you know, they have their little bit at the bottom where they talk about, we celebrate diversity and inclusion, we care about the community, we want the community to thrive, this is a mistake, and we hope that you forgive us and we'll get a da-da-da-da. Which, you know, that's up to you. If you are a part of this community, I'm not a part of the Dislyte community. If you're a part of the Dislyte community, if you want to forgive them and continue to play their game, I don't know, that's up to you. I have not seen anything from the artist that was traced, Yuto, any comments on their part, and I do find it strange that they mentioned removing everything from their socials, but from what I've seen, that character is still in their game. So, I don't know, I feel like they should have been more clear if the character was designed and then there was promotional artwork made of that character that was traced, or the initial design for that character was traced and then they built the character off of that. Because if that's the case, then they should probably just remove the character from the game altogether, in my humble opinion. Now, this isn't to explain away the tracing situation. I'm definitely not condoning it or defending it, and normally I wouldn't give anyone the benefit of the doubt in a tracing situation like this, but I want to think that it's a mistake on one single artist's fault, not the entire company of how many employees they have working under this one game, compared to, you know, when you hear stuff about Bethesda or Ubisoft or shit going out in those departments, it's a lot of people, a lot of higher ups that are causing the issues, not their like lower department like artists and workers. I don't think that the devs, the concept artists, all the higher ups in the company were feeding the art team other artists' work to be copied specifically and used for the game, especially when this situation came out about the tracing. A lot of people started to take the art from the game and compare it to other art that exists. I'm more likely to believe that this was an issue with time constraints or deadlines, and one artist either panic trace this in an attempt to rush their work, or they were under some sort of time constraint and were pushed to do the easiest solution possible. This is in no way an excuse for tracing work and for passing it as their own. 100% don't do that, and they shouldn't have done that. I'm trying to think of the most likely situation and scenario that led to that happening in the first place. I do appreciate that they put out a statement and did say that they were going to try to communicate to the artist and that they did name the artist. A lot of times with apologies like these, you see people saying, we will work harder and be smarter in the future, but that's the only thing I'm going to give them now. As part of the benefit of the doubt of the first part of this with the tracing, it was a good apology. But if you keep watching the video, you will find out that it was not quite a good enough apology. But like I was saying, I really don't think it was done with malicious intent, and I have to say it's nice that the entire team is working to take responsibility and fix the error, because at the end of the day, we don't know why this happened, how many people knew about it, who's involved, whatever. We can only speculate unless an actual internal audit happens and then they release the records publicly of that audit. Until that happens, we will never know. A lot of people have been debating about if this is a direct trace, if it's a heavy reference or a reference pose, but it really is just straight up tracing. You can say that this is a common expression. It is a common expression, but it's still tracing this specific artist's work. Because while this expression is common at different angles of the face, different shapes of the facial structure, different style of eyebrows, eyes, nose, lips, stuff like that. In this age, at the end of the day, tracing artist art and trying to pass it off as your own is fucked up and shouldn't have ever passed the green light for this game. I also would like to throw in here that the Genshin Aloy tracing thing was debunked. The character in Dislyte was posted to social media before Aloy was. Plus, this one felt like a reach to me since this is a common archer pose for most characters, and I felt like it didn't line up as much as people were trying to make it seem like it lined up. I just think for this style, like this anime gacha game style, and for the archer pose, I just think this is common. But even just the one character being traced is one too many, and I am glad that the internet caught that when they did. Now on to JonTron. Trigger warning, JonTron. If you don't know who JonTron is, first of all, congrats. Here is a quick, not so quick overview. Before I get into a little bit of backstory and the part about Dislyte and the connection to JonTron, I am not going to debate with anyone today or ever in the future about whether JonTron is a white supremacist. He is. If you believe that you are the superior race and you have the thing to say that he has to say about immigration and black people, yeah, he's a white supremacist. I don't want to have that argument today. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. But that's what I think, that's what I know, and I'm not going to debate that. Basically, JonTron is the handle of Jonathan Aryan Jafari. He is 32 years old. He is more popularly known on the internet for his show, The JonTron Show on YouTube. He also was the other Grump to the Game Grump series back in its infancy. You know, the show where everyone has said the N-word at least twice on the internet. He's also done a lot of voice actor work. He did a lot of stuff for Did You Know Gaming. He did The Legend of Zelda, the Donkey Kong, Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Dragon Quest, Sonic Boom. He did a promotional video for the Warner Bros. With Pacific Rim. And if you scroll way down to that little section of political views in his Wikipedia page and you go to the section that says racial controversy, basically shit hit the fan in 2017. He was discussing politics, quote unquote politics, which just means the lives of immigrants and marginalized people. Now, the live stream he had with Carl Benjamin in 2017, that was more of a tame conversation, but things kind of went a little crazy when he started tweeting a little obsessively about immigration. He was defending Steve King, who was an Iowa representative who was against immigration, and he was defending his stance on immigration, quoted, "We can't restore our civilization with somebody else's babies." Things double shit hit the fan. Double hit the fan with shit. Double shit hit the fan. When he appeared on a Twitch streamer named Destiny channel, he was explaining his tweets and stuff. Basically, he was quoted to say that nobody wants to become a minority in their own country. And he was talking about how he took issue with white people being labeled as racist for wanting to remain a majority. He pulled up a weird statistic that didn't really make sense and wasn't very true about wealthy black people committing more crimes than poor white people. And then he made a alluding comment to if colonization of Africa by European countries was a good thing. The biggest thing that people were commenting on when he did this stream with Destiny was his comments on the crimes committed by wealthy black people, which isn't true at all. He had a backlash with his fan base, but I mean, you'll never really see people who are big fans of one person. If that one person has a controversy, you will not see a lot of their fan base dip and run at the sign of trouble. Most of the time they'll stick by them. But I mean, if you just look at Dream, if you look at all the shit that Dream does on Twitter all the time, he has his fan base still backing him up. So it's not very surprising that he lost a little bit of subscribers, but not a lot. He made a statement about everything. If you want to look at that, go for it. And then slowly, his little circles like Normal Boots, Pro Jared, some other YouTube channels and outlets were starting to let go of him a little bit. I think they just wanted to avoid any controversy with having him a part of their content. He was originally supposed to voice a part for a character in the game, Yooka-Laylee, but they ended up dropping him and changing his voice anyways. In November of 2017, he appeared on a podcast with H3H3. He elaborated on the statements he was making a little bit on the podcast, saying that he shouldn't have gone into the subjects he said without proper prep. He said he didn't have any racist views. He wishes people could talk about these things without witch hunting each other. And then he also talked about how he's a comedian, he's a comedian. How is he supposed to know it and cause a problem? He's a comedian. But if you want to check out the H3H3 podcast episode, if you want to go check out JonTron's initial apology, feel free. We're not really going to get into the details of that. I just wanted to give a little background on him and why this is relevant to people claiming that Dislyte was working with a white supremacist. And it's interesting, when people were talking about a white supremacist collaborating with Dislyte, I had a few YouTubers / influencers that I had in mind, but good old JT was not at the top of the list because I kind of just forgot he existed after 2018. Now, I looked around and it seems like the collaboration was a short skit he did with them. It was just an advert. It's on his channel, and some other people have commented on it on the internet. It really was a confusing advert, honestly. It didn't seem like he really put a lot of effort into making a cool promotion. It's a 6-minute video-ish, 6 minutes and 43 seconds, but it's basically weird, edgy humor memes for the first 4 minutes. And then he doesn't really play the game, showcase the game. He just says, hey, by the way, this game exists, go play it. They're paying me to talk about it. And even in the comments of this video, his own audience wasn't really a fan of the ad. It seems like there are some problems going on in the JonTron fandom that I have nothing to do with. That's for them to sort out on their own. And because of the nature of JonTron's background and the game, I wouldn't be surprised if they possibly had him led up to be involved with the voice acting at some point, since that's mostly John's background, other than making shitty adverts for games that he probably doesn't play. But this leads me to believe that the Dislyte PR team either didn't care to do 2 extra seconds of research, or just straight up don't care about their black or immigrant fan base, because it takes less than 5 minutes, especially in 2022, it takes less than 5 minutes to find out the complete problematic past of someone you're collaborating with, especially when that person has an entire section of their Wikipedia page dedicated to racial controversy. And you know what? Even if we gave the Dislyte team the benefit of the doubt, maybe they just had no clue, maybe it wasn't ran through the proper channels, they didn't know about John's past. If we gave them the benefit of the doubt, we won't. But if we did, that in no way explains this. Now, if you don't know what the issue is here, or you did not notice what the issue is, the problem is the donut lips. Donut lips originate from racist images of black people that were popularized in like the early 1900s. It was used in blackface to make fun of the size and shape of lips on black characters. It's used as a very offensive character design choice. It's a caricature, and you should never use these lips on black characters. They're an offensive design choice, especially when we live in a world where there's so many tutorials of how to draw different races, different ethnicities properly. Now, they did remove that video and they re-uploaded it on the 21st, and a lot of people in the comments also felt the same way. And the thing about that video is that it was posted 8 months ago, prior to when they started pumping out ads and getting ready to launch the game. So they only changed it when people started talking about it. But my thing is, I feel like at some point someone must have seen it and been like, oh, maybe we should change this. Maybe this isn't right. Maybe this looks bad. Maybe this reflects us badly. They didn't. And I'm all for change and growth, but they only really changed it when it started to get popular on Twitter, that they were starting to get a lot of backlash for the JonTron thing, for the tracing art, and I think they were just trying to cover all their bases where they could possibly get any controversy. I feel like if they really cared to change something like that bothered a lot of people, they would have changed it when they uploaded the video and they started getting comments on their video of people who noticed it first saying, hey, this is racist, please change this. Which, bottom line, I think this is the biggest thing in this situation that we should pay attention to. They can apologize and reason away the tracing and that it was just one artist and it slipped through quality cracks. And then they can apologize and defend themselves that they, a Singaporean company under a Chinese dev that didn't know the full issues with John, and they should have researched more into who they collaborate with this. But this business, I feel like, has no right excuse. And I find it extra crazy that a game that claims to be diverse and fun and really cares about the character designs and really cares about the community and has other black and dark-skinned characters in their game would let something like that slip through the cracks. I mean, I saw the ads on TikTok. I never gravitated toward this game, so I won't be playing it. I didn't invest any time in it that I'm going to be regretting. And after all this, I kind of really don't want to get into the game. But I do hope that this video was informative to some of you. I'm definitely not telling you to not play the game. Seems like it's still pretty popular despite all this stuff coming out. I see a lot of people who aren't black or aren't immigrants commenting, "We forgive you, Dislyte. We love you, Dislyte. Go, Dislyte. You're the best. We're so proud of you for owning up to your bullshit." So I know there will be fans regardless, and there is so many lists of so many shitty games that have problematic behavior and problematic pasts that are most definitely still being played by people and still going to be played by people. So I know there's going to be fans regardless, but I think all this stuff is shitty enough to keep me personally far away from it. And I think all current and new players deserve to know exactly what they're getting into, you know? So, of course, like I always say, make sure to do your own research and form your own opinions. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye.
What's hotter than furry superheroes in action? Get them now! All I can say is every night I stay awake.